All right, guys. So I've got Denise on the channel, and what can I say? Me and Denise have gone back a few weeks, finally getting this video interview underway. And one of the things I like doing is I like interviewing extremely professional leaders, shall we say, in the AI and sales space. And Denise, since she was, I think, a young age, was it about 16, 17? You were knocking on doors, as far as I recall it in our last conversation. And hey, all the leaders that are also looking and watching this video interview, Denise was in sales for many, many years. She's built her own business to be quite a leading business in what she's doing. And so we thought, let's get it underway. Let's hear what Denise has to say about her business and what she's doing specifically in AI, and a little bit about how she grew into sales, because I know she finds it a very passionate, especially when she was at a young age, door knocking. First things first, Denise, is welcome to the interview.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on here, Nazareth. And I'm super excited and looking forward to the conversation. So thank you again.
So, Denise, you've gone back a few years in sales, since you were at a very young age. You told me you were selling all sorts, and you were knocking on doors. Is that the best way? Is that how you would define an active salesperson?
Sure. I mean, I started as early as in Girl Scouts selling cookies
Wow.
at the door. The cookies that are still exist today, but I went and sold those door to door. That transformed and evolved. And my first sales gig was selling long distance business to business, but having to knock on the doors of each of those
Right.
businesses. So I had a small territory in Houston, and I would have to go and knock on each of their doors to try to sell them long distance. That dates me because that is way back when you could actually sell long distance. Now you don't do that the same as you don't consume long distance or purchase long distance like you did back then.
Hey, I mean, that's what makes you as a very excellent professional in your craft. Would you say, did that really sort of teach you a lot of things when you went out there in the wild, in the big wide world, and learn all about that?
Sure. I think, it does help that I come from a natural family construct in which they sold as well. That was their job, their
Right.
role. Salespeople through and through. And I think I inherited a lot of those characteristics. So I had no fear. I wanted to make money and help others. And the only way I knew how to do that effectively was go into the world of sales. That experience with my family, those early years of selling, it really prompted me and gave me the confidence and the experience to really go out and be as successful in sales in the sales arena that I have been. So, yes.
Amazing. I mean, it takes a lot of tenacity and a lot of guts to actually go out there and meet people. And kudos to you for doing that, because I haven't met that many sales leaders, and usually a lot of them are kind of shy at the first instant. So tell us a little bit about your business. Tell us about the sales culture cultivator. Why did you name yourself that?
Well, that actually wasn't a name that I gave myself. That was a name that I inherited way back in the day because I tend to create this culture around me. And I think it's just wanting to help people, wanting to make a difference.
Right.
And then being the best at what I do enabled me to create this culture around me, people who wanted to be a part of my daily practices, people who not only who wanted to learn from me, but who I aspired to learn from. And that created this culture. And therefore, they named or referred to me as the culture cultivator. And so when I finally went out on my own, I thought, okay, well, I'm going to use this. I'm good at it. Use that naming convention or that title that someone else gave
Right.
me to my benefit, because that's what I thrive on doing anyway. And it defines what my intention and my missions are, or my
So I've got
mission.
a amazing. I've got a bit of a big audience now. I'm hitting nearly 33,000 followers on LinkedIn, and I've worked with many tech tycoons and many big leaders that I'm pretty well connected to. Who'll probably see this video interview. Denise, what would you tell my audience about what you do in your business? Can you tell us a little bit about what you do and what you stand for?
Sure. So my overall mission is to elevate sales leaders and executives, so sales in
Right,
general, so that they cultivate exceptional sales results in this world of AI. So while we're adopting and adapting to AI technologies. And the reason why I formed my organization was because in all of my years of experience in sales and in the AI machine learning space in particular, what I saw once COVID hit was that the sales
right,
process changing drastically. And as it was changing with the introduction of the more digital age and AI technologies, that organizations were trying to adopt and adapt to them, but weren't doing them effectively. Tremendous amounts of confusion, not knowing where to retain the human interaction. And I realized that
right,
was a gap I could fulfill, because as the last 3 years have progressed, what we've seen is that buyers have changed and they want a much more personal human experience than ever before. It's a digital age. They can go find all the information that they want on their own. They don't need us for that. They want it to be more personalized now. So while we should adapt AI technologies, this real struggle is, how do you do that effectively while still focusing and retaining that human interaction so that you can give the buyers
right.
that exceptional human experience? And that's where I come in, ensuring that, yes, let's help you adopt and adapt AI technologies, but let's make sure you hone in on those human capital opportunities that you can build the relationship and therefore progress to closing a deal.
Amazing. So what's the business called? What's the name of the business?
My company is Success with AI, but my new
Right.
program that I'm launching is Cellivators. And that's the first time I've said it out loud. So I've not shared that with anyone outside of you
Wow.
now. So this is
And
first
what
time it's public.
amazing. What is salivators? What is it? Is it, are you allowed to disclose that information, or is that still kind of
Sure, because
closed off?
it's actually launching. The first masterclass will launch
Right,
July 12th. And so I am actually working on finalizing all the marketing to start marketing and
right.
advertising for it this week by the end of, well, that's by the end of tomorrow. So yes, the
The time's
Elevators is
flying.
yes, it is. So Cellivators is a program that takes both group coaching and mastermind sessions, brings them together in an either 4 week or 8 week program targeted at either sales leaders or sales executives. So two types of audiences in which we focus on the human interaction within the
Right.
sales process, and then highlighting some areas where AI can really add value so that you can adopt and adapt to them more effectively.
There's a lot of leaders that come to me, especially in the AI. They're all branching into blockchain or AI and so forth. And people feel kind of like lost in transition when it comes to, meeting people. Do you think we need to have a more sort of a humane touch in terms of the way we sort of talk to people in sales, and especially as I have a big audience, people like to be, spoken to in a real way, especially when it comes from a sales background. Do you think we need more sort of empathy between people?
Yes, of course. I think that is key. And because that is going to be what differentiates us from AI technologies. I mean, look, let's be real.
Yes.
Prior to COVID, we could handle a cold call every now and then. While buyers didn't love cold calls, they would pick up, and they were a little bit more receptive to them than they are now.
Yeah.
Additionally, when you got an email or a DM in your LinkedIn message box, you were more apt to read and potentially even respond than you are today. When COVID hit, everything went awry. We then became
Changed everything.
It did. It changed the way buyers completely look at everything, and it caused the consumers to
Hmm.
adapt differently. So now we're in this digital age where all information can be now accessed
Yeah,
by everyone, right? So
pretty
buyers
much.
are much more educated, they have much more information at their fingertips. So now when you get that DM that is that you think could potentially come from someone, when in actuality you read it's automated, it turns them off, and they're now less likely to look at and read emails and DMs or answer your phone because it's all automated now. So buyers are craving that human experience, because again, they can look for all the information they want themselves. They can even come as close to making the actual purchase, I mean, to the last extreme part of the sales process without human interaction.
Totally.
But they crave that, because that human interaction is because 95% of buyers buy based on emotion. Emotion doesn't come from AI technologies today. It comes from human interaction. So the human interaction is key in order to truly progress as we continue through this digital age and adopting and adapting to these AI technologies. In order to progress successfully, human interaction has to be retained,
has to
and even
accelerate.
more. Yes.
I
Agreed.
think so. I totally agree. And I think, a lot of people coming to me and saying, look, we want someone real to talk to us. We don't want an AI bot, or like an algorithm sort of processing or chunking that data. I mean, from the times when you started cold calling, you would know many years ago, Denise, when you went back sort of 20 years ago, people I think liked that, but they didn't want to be interrogated, but they did like the way you approached them. Do you think we need to do that more, sort of like be more real in who we are?
I do think so, because people can now see a little bit more through each other. We've all started to be more aware of ourselves, and therefore more aware of others. And so we can see through a lot of that, for a lack of better way to describe BS, right? And so now it's important for us to be more authentic and more real, because again, that's the differentiator between us and AI. Now, that being said, I'm a huge proponent and AI enthusiast. I love AI, and I do think there is a place in the sales process for it. If you think about, for example, in the olden days, how long, or even those that don't have access to AI technologies today, it takes a tremendous amount of time when you're prospecting and qualifying to do all the research, right?
To get everything together. Yeah.
Exactly. Having an AI solution that can do that for you, that takes away a lot of
It's
that
very
manual.
fast now, isn't it? The way they automate everything and move from A to B.
Exactly. And 64% of a salesperson's time is spent on non-selling activities. So if you can utilize and leverage AI technologies to help you offset a lot of those, you can then spend the remainder of that energy on actually closing the deal, or building the relationship to close the deal. Because again, human interaction, that's what's going to thrive. So if we can take that 64%, give that to the AI solutions, that gives us the time to focus on that human interaction.
Amazing answer. And I hope my audience are enjoying this video interview. Denise has got years and years of experience. We're going to find out how we're going to get in touch with her, and we're going to leave all the details to make sure that, you fully do engage with her. So, Denise, tell us, why AI? Obviously everything's starting to be automated. Everything is moving quite fast to my liking, especially from COVID. What is three things can you tell us about in your business where AI is now helping other businesses grow?
So I think it's helping within the sales process in
That's
particular. I
right.
think it's helping with the prospecting and qualifying, because it's providing customer insights. Everything from a little bit more history with not only the organization itself, but their buying trends, the personas that you should be targeting. That's all information that you now have at your fingertip that you can use to reduce that 64% and actually focus on making contact and establishing and building the relationship with those individuals. The other key area is really on forecasting. So in the past, forecasting has been done more, what's the best way to describe it? More based on sometimes a gut, sometimes less a gut, but just based on some key factors that they might take into account. But now forecasting utilizing AI technologies can look at past forecasting history, can look at past buying experience or trends with the consumer, and as well look at the data that you're inputting within the CRM and allow you to better forecast so that you're a lot more accurate in your forecasting. And then the other is in retaining clients. So retaining clients.
So important.
Yes. And that is, if you think about the sales process, it's always easier to sell to current customers. So if you can grow that opportunity, grow that business within those current customers, and the only way to do that is to retain the client interaction. Right now, when a salesperson, or traditionally in the past, when a salesperson's made a deal, they let go of that client, leave it to the rest of the organization to manage to, and they go out and look for another opportunity. Well, a lot of times that client gets lost in the mix. And so you lose a lot of opportunity to sell either larger opportunities or expand product offerings with those clients
For
because you've
sure.
lost the client engagement, or client interaction is the other key area. So I do think there are some other areas, but those are the three main ones where I think AI is going to really benefit and help sales so that they can retain their clients, reduce the amount of time spent on
Right.
non-selling activities, and enable them to therefore then grow their sales.
What is it you'd like to tell my audience, Denise, in terms of your business, and how would you sort of like pitch it across so that we can learn more about what you're doing in this process?
Yeah, so if you think about sales, there are so many wonderful methodologies that we've learned, and I won't name them, but we know
What's the
some of
best two?
the best two. Well, besides mine, the best
It's-
two. I would have to say, um, shoot. Now I've just lost my
I
train
put
of
you
thought.
on the spot.
Yeah, no, well, and I hate to call out different names, but there's several of them, but Sandler's one of them. We're all familiar with Selling DeVito. There are some really good ones that I've adopted, and it's great to adopt, over the course of the years, I've had many different
Right.
opportunities to learn different methodologies. And I've adopted a little bit of each of them into my own process. But the wonderful thing about what I can offer is that I've adopted the selling strategies so they apply to today, because the
Wow.
sales process has changed, buyers have changed,
Hmm.
and we now have the introduction of AI technologies. So the differentiator for my sales process over any other is that it really takes into account all the dynamic changes that have happened that we now have to adopt to.
Amazing. And so, as we sort of wrap up this interview and sort of get the clients intrigued in here, and the people watching this video interview, you said you can offer something. So what is it that you can offer to businesses that you might do better than what other businesses can't in terms of what you do in sales and AI?
I think the entire differentiator for my program is the experience. So we learn when you sit in a curriculum or a program or a methodology in which you're taking on all these new concepts, it's great and they're fantastic concepts to try to adopt. But the challenge is always, how do you then put them into practice? And with my program, you get a full experience with an even learning lab at the
Can you
end.
say the program again one more time so the clients know?
Elevators program,
Right.
Celevate. And that with that program, you have a learning lab. The concept is the experience. How do you take what you're learning and actually put into practice? And I help
Wow.
you achieve that throughout the program and even thereafter, if they so choose.
And what is your success rate when it comes to those clients that you do get on board? What is the success rate and the feedback, Denise?
The feedback has been really amazing because it is so needed right now with so much noise and chaos and the dynamic changes. So the feedback's been amazing. Super excited
Wow.
to launch it. Can't wait. And the success
See
rate
the
is,
excitement.
yes, and the success rate is still out there to quantify, but I know based on all the wonderful things that are being said about the program and the heart and effort that I put into it, on top of the opportunity that I have to create this learning experience, or this overall experience that actually takes from concept to actual practice. It's an amazing opportunity for me to share all of this with those that really want to excel and elevate their sales results.
And look, you're actually helping people, right? And we all want to be helped, right? And to my audience, definitely do reach out to Denise. So where can we find you, and sort of learn more details about how we can connect to you, and learn more about what you're doing?
Yeah, so on LinkedIn, you can always find me there. Denise Murtha Bachmann is my URL. And then Success with AI is my website. My first Celevators Masterclass will be July the 12th at 10
Do
a.m.
tune into that, guys. Yeah.
Yes, so register. You can find that. It'll all launch by tomorrow. You'll see all of the advertising for it by the end of tomorrow. So by the weekend, Monday, you can start looking for that and signing up. And yeah, I'm looking forward
Lots to come in July.
lots to come. My podcast will be launching then as well. So I am super excited. Lots going on.
Amazing. What a great privilege to have you, Denise, and share your story about, you know, about what you're doing in this space, and how many years you've gained in this process. And I think you are the go-to woman to go to discuss. So guys, anyone that would love to connect to Denise, please do so. I'm reaching out to my audience to obviously connect with her, because I think she's incredibly passionate in her area. And is anything finally you'd like to say?
I'd just like to say, I think we're in a time where we all have an opportunity to make a difference. And I really, besides the difference that I want to make with my family, building just kind humans who want to give back, I want to help elevate sales so that it is not that it is truly thought of as a noble profession. So if I can help do that in any way, that's what this Elevators program is for, so that we can together make a difference in this world.
Incredible. Thank you, Denise, for your time and learning all about that. And you're always active on LinkedIn, aren't you? So we can connect with you there.
Yes, thank you very much, Nazareth. I appreciate the time, and I look forward to any questions and engagements that or conversations that we have after this with you and with your audience. So thank you again for giving me this time.
Thank you very much, Denise. And to my audience, I hope you enjoyed that, and that this is a wrap. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.